Stigmata references can be found in a wide range of media outlets, such as TV, films and music videos. But what is stigmata? Stigmata is when the wounds of Christ appear on a person chosen by God. Here are 9 well-documented cases of stigmata. Our first case of stigmata was that of Francis of Assisi. In 1224, Francis was allegedly visited by an angel who put upon his body the 5 wounds of Jesus Christ, nails in both wrists and ankles, and a wound from the Holy Lance which appeared in his side. Pope Alexander IV and others said they had seen the evidence of the marks both before and after Francis's death. Our second case is that of Marceline Pauper. Marceline was one of the sisters of the Sisters of Charity of Nevers. Marceline was born in 1663 in Saint Saulge. With her father Delavine as a spiritual guide, she joined the community of Saint Saulge. Pauper meditated in order to be close to God, but was told to understand that serving the poor was serving God. It was while she was at the Sisters' Chapel that she asked to receive the stigmata as a repayment for sacrilege, and she received them on the 26th of April 1702. Our third case is that of Padre Pio. Pio was born in 1887 in Italy. Born Francesco Fogoen, his name changed to Pio when he joined the Order of the Friars Minor Capuchin. Pio was a friar, priest, stigmatist and mystic. While hearing confession on the 20th of September 1918, Pio noticed stigmata, the wounds of Christ, appearing on his hands and feet. Blood flowed from the stigmata was said to have smelled of perfume and flowers. This was a phenomenon mentioned in stories of several other saints. Pio would have preferred to have kept this secret, but by 1919 word had spread and he was examined by many physicians, none of which came to a definite conclusion. Pope Benedict XV's physician, Professor Giuseppe Bastianelli, agreed that the wounds were real. However, he did not make any further comment. Padre Pio became famous. He was known for his charity and the quality of his preaching, saying, "Pray, hope and don't worry." Padre Pio died on September the 23rd, 1968. His funeral was attended by over 100,000 people. On June the 16th, 2002, Padre Pio was recognised as a saint by Pope John Paul II. Our fourth case is that of Veronica de Giuliani's. Veronica was born in 1660. She had a lifelong devotion to Christ. She was a nun at the Capuchin Poor Clares Convent. She joined the order in Italy in 1677. In 1694, the marks of the crown of thorns appeared on her forehead, and in 1697 the 5 wounds of the crucifixion appeared on her body. The bishop rigorously tested Veronica about the stigmata, and Veronica became humiliated. The bishop decided to remove Veronica from ordinary public life and observe her. After a while, the bishop decided that the stigmata was authentic and allowed her to return to normal convent life. She died on July the 9th, 1727. After her death, a cross was supposedly found in her heart, and her body has been recorded as being incorrupt, a Catholic belief that divine intervention stops some human bodies decomposing or delays decomposition. She was declared a saint by Pope Gregory XVI on May the 26th, 1839. Our fifth case is that of Teresa Helena Higginson. Teresa was a Roman Catholic and mystic. She was born in Holywell, Flintshire in 1844. Teresa went to a convent school in Nottingham and then became a school teacher. Throughout her life, Teresa's hand and feet bled in a way known as stigmata. She was also known to go into trances that could last for days. Teresa died in 1905 and was declared a servant of God, a term used in the Catholic Church for designated individuals who are being investigated for possible sainthood. She was discussed as a possible candidate in 1928. Our sixth case is that of Marie Rose Ferron. Marie was born in Quebec in 1902 to a large devout Catholic family. They moved to Massachusetts in 1906. At the age of 6, Marie was to have had her first vision of Christ carrying a cross. When Marie was 13, she developed a mysterious pain and contraction of her muscles, and she had to walk with crutches, eventually confining her to her bed for the rest of her life. Marie had to lie on a flat board, which she was strapped to because of her muscles painfully contracting. She relocated with her family to Rhode Island in 1925, and in 1926 she had her first stigmata appear. By 1927, the wounds would regularly appear on a Friday. Marie died in 1936 at the age of 33, living most of her life in constant pain. Her stigmata included the crown of thorns, which was regularly photographed. Some have considered her the first American stigmatist. Our seventh case is that of Rhoda Wise. Rhoda was born in 1888 in Ohio. Rhoda was raised as a Protestant by her family. Beginning in the early 1930s, Rhoda started to have serious health problems, which included a broken foot, which she found it difficult to walk. Rhoda continued to have many surgeries, which included numerous abdominal and foot surgeries. One of the operations was to have a 39-pound ovarian cyst removed. In 1933, Rhoda was committed to a mental hospital and diagnosed with post-operative psychosis resulting from her surgeries. During a stay in a Canton hospital run by nuns, one of the sisters befriended her and taught her how to pray the rosary, and Rhoda decided to convert to the Catholic Church and was received into the Catholic Church in January 1939. Rhoda experienced apparitions of Jesus Christ and Saint Therese. Rhoda was diagnosed with stomach cancer in 1939, and it's during one of her apparitions that Jesus Christ and Saint Therese cured her of her cancer, including healing an open wound on her abdomen. It is said that Wise had 28 visions from 1939 to the time of her death. On April 3, 1942, Rhoda experienced stigmata. It appeared on her head and bled in intervals over the next 2 years. In 1943, stigmata appeared on her hands and feet. Also, many witnessed this. Rhoda's story spread. Hundreds wrote to her seeking spiritual help, and large crowds would gather outside her home. She was called the Miracle Woman. In 1943, Rhoda helped a teenager seek a cure for a painful stomach complaint. Rhoda led the teenager into 9 days of prayer to Saint Therese, and at the end of the 9 days, her stomach complaint disappeared. The teenager then became a nun. Rhoda died in 1948. 14,000 people visited her coffin 2 days prior to her burial. Pilgrims continued to visit her home even after her death. In 2016, Bishop George V declared Rhoda a servant of God. An inquiry is ongoing to determine if Rhoda may be declared a saint. Our eighth case is that of Claretta Robertson. Claretta was a Baptist born in Oakland, California. 10-year-old Claretta was sat in class at Santa Fe School, Oakland, in March 1972 when Claretta's left hand started to bleed. The nurse at the school diagnosed her with stigmata. Apparently, Claretta had been watching a movie about crucifixion a few weeks before Easter. It was also reported that Claretta had bled from her feet, chest and forehead. When doctors examined Claretta, there was no evidence of self-harm or illness. She wasn't upset about what had happened. Claretta was made the main attraction of the youth supernatural end-time revival by her pastor between the years 1975 to 1977. Her stigmata would appear most years around Easter. After 1977, there are no records of Claretta making appearances. Our last case is that of Clement Dominguez Gomez. Clement was born in Seville, Spain in 1946. Clement had declared himself a successor to Pope Paul VI in 1978, giving himself title of Pope Gregory XVII of the Order of the Carmelites of the Holy Face. Clement had various visions from the Virgin Mary. and he would often go into a trance-like state, to which he would sometimes awake with stigmata injuries appearing on his body, such as the crown of thorns and chest wounds. During one evening, Clement had lost a reported 15 litres of blood after suffering another stigmata chest wound. Followers of Gomez had claimed that Clement had possessed the stigmata on his hands. However, the Catholic Church had cast doubts on the legitimacy of Clement's visions and stigmata. Funded by supporters, Papa Clement, as he was known by his followers, had built a spectacular fortress with 5-metre high walls. Clement had referred to the fortress-like building as a cathedral, which was rarely entered by anyone other than his followers. Clement called himself Chief of the Order of the Carmelites of the Holy Face. Clement died on the 22nd of March 2005 in Spain. He had visions and stigmata right up until his death, as said by his close followers. The Order of the Carmelites of the Holy Face are still active today. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to share your thoughts on this video in the comment sections below. We hope to see you again soon, and remember to give us a like and subscribe to our channel as there are more videos to come. And remember, stay straight.